Hello, Year 7s. So in this lesson, we're going to go through fractions and percentages. And once you've gone through all these notes, you're going to do exercise 4I in the textbook. Okay, the word percent means out of 100. That's what the word percent means, out of 100. So what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these percentages here and write them as fractions. So it says express these percentages as fractions or mixed numbers in their simplest form. Now, the first step of doing this is always the same. Whenever you're given a percentage and asked to write it as a fraction, the first step is always the same. 3% means 3 out of 100. Now, can that be simplified? No, it cannot. So I just leave it like that. My answer will be 3 out of 100. 17% is just 17 out of 100. Again, it can't be simplified, so I just leave it. And then 79% will just be 79 out of 100. It can't be simplified, so you just leave it. So as you can see, if you're ever given a percentage and you're asked to write it as a fraction, you simply take the number and put it over 100. Now, all of these examples are quite nice because they're all can't be simplified, so you just leave them as they are. But now we come to ones that can be simplified. Now, it's really important that you follow my working here. Remember, if I write something down, you write something down. I want to see your simplification here. All right. The first thing you do, if you're given 36%, is you write it as 36 over 100. And then you simplify it. So you ask yourself the question, what can both be divided by 36 and 100? Well, the answer there is going to be 4. That is your highest common factor. You could do something lower. You could do 2, but then you're just going to spend longer answering this question. It's always best to divide by the highest common factor. 36 divided by 4 is 9, and 100 divided by 4 is going to be 25. So that means our answer here is going to be 9 on 25. Let's now move on to the next one. So our next one is 42%. Remember, the first step is writing it like this. So you simply take the number and put it over 100. And then you ask yourself the question, what can divide both 42 and 100? And your answer should be 2. So that means when we come here now, we're going to say, all right, 42 divided by 2 is 21, and 100 divided by 2 is 50. So our answer here will be 21 on 50. And just like that, we've got it. We now continue on. If I'm given something that is more than 100%, so like 140% or 220%, I immediately know that my answer is going to be a mixed number. So when we come here, we're still going to follow the same steps, but we know that our final answer should be a mixed number. So what do? I take 140 and I put it over 100. Do you see how that's exactly the same as to what I've done always? That's always my first step. Now, I've got to simplify this. Remember, whenever you've got zeros up the top and down the bottom, cancel where possible. So I'm canceling this 0 with that 0. So that means now what I have is 14 on 10. Now, can I simplify that? Yes, I can. I can divide it both by 2. Remember, you don't actually have to write divide like this. You can just cross it out and write 7 because you're dividing it by 2 there. Cross it out and write 5 there. So we've got 7 on 5. This is the more efficient way of canceling. So that means we've got 7 on 5. All right, how many times does 5 go into 7? It goes in once with 2 remainder. It's going to be 1 2/5. So that means that is my answer there. We then go on to our next one here. This is going to be 220%. Remember, your first step is to take the number, put it over 100. And then you simplify where possible. So I'm going to cancel this 0 with that 0 to start off with. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write this is 22 on 10. What can 22 and 10 both be divided by? They can both be divided by 2. So I'll cross this out and write 11. I'll cross this out and write 5. So now I have my new simplified fraction. It's going to be 11 on 5. How many times does 5 go into 11? It goes in twice with 1 remainder. It's 2 1/5. 2 1/5. So that right there will be my answer, 2 1/5. All right, that's how you do it, people. Hopefully you followed all of that. That is how you take a percentage and turn it into a fraction. Always put it over 100, simplify where possible, and if it's greater than 100%, you know that your answer is going to be a mixed number. I'll see you in the next part.